सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। ॐ धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सताम् वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यते यत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवण त्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्त देवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकादिमुनिभ्यो नारदाय वेदव्यासाय शुकब्रह्मर्षे सूतमहामने शौनकादि ऋषिभ्यो अत्र्यादि ऋषिभ्यो प्रह्लादादि भक्तजनेभ्यो आदित्यादि नवग्रहदेवताभ्यो दक्षिणावति दत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। माता पितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। आद्य शंकराचार्यवर्यादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Let us chant chapter 24 of 11th Skandha. Om Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Srimad-Bhagavata Mahapuranam Ekadasha Skandha Muktirhitva Anyatha Rupam Swarupena Vyavastitihi Atha Chaturvimshodhyayah Shri Bhagavanuvach Atha Te Sampravakshyami Sankhyaṁ Purvairvinishchitam तद्विज्ञाय पुमान् सद्यः जह्याद्वैकल्पिकं भ्रमम् आसीत् ज्ञानमथो ह्यर्थ एकमेवाविकल्पितं यदा विवेकनिपुणाः आदौ कृतयुगे अयुगे तन्मायाफलरूपेण केवलं निर्विकल्पितं वाङ्मनोगोचरं सत्यं द्विधा समभवत् बृहत् तयोरेकतरो हि अर्थः प्रकृतिः शोभयात्मिका ज्ञानं तु अन्यतमो भावः पुरुषः सोऽभिधीयते तमो रजः सत्त्वमिति प्रकृतेरभवन् गुणाः मया प्रक्षोभ्यमानायाः पुरुषानुमतेन च तेभ्यः समभवत् सूत्रं महान् सूत्रेण संयुतः ततो विकुर्वतो जातः अहंकारो यो विमोहनः वैकारिकस्तैजसश्च तामसश्चेत्यहं त्रिवृतौ तन्मात्रेन्द्रियमनसाम कारणं चिदचिन्मयः अर्थः तन्मात्रिकात् जज्ञे तामसात् इन्द्रियाणि च तैजसात् देवता आसन् एकादश च वैकृतात् मया संचोदिता भावाः सर्वे संहत्यकारिणः अण्डमुत्पादयामासुः ममायतनमुत्तमं तस्मिन्नहं समभवम् अण्डे सलिलसंस्थितौ मम नाभ्यामभूत्पद्मं विश्वाख्यं तत्र चात्मभूः सोऽसृजत्तपसा युक्तः रजसा मदनुग्रहात् लोकान् सपालान् विश्वात्मा भूर्भुवः स्वरिति त्रिधा देवानाम् ओक आसीत् स्वौः भूतानां च भुवः पदम् मर्त्यादीनां च भूर्लोकः सिद्धानां त्रितयात् परम् अधोसुराणां नागानां भूमेरेको सृजत् प्रभुः त्रिलोक्यां गतयः सर्वाः कर्मणां त्रिगुणात्मनां योगस्य तपसश्चैव न्यासस्य गतयो मलाः महर्जनस्तपः सत्यं भक्तियोगस्य मद्गतिः मया कालात्मनाधात्र कर्मयुक्तमिदं जगतो गुणप्रवाहः एतस्मिन् उन्मज्जति निमज्जति अणुद्बृहत्कृशस्थूलः यो यो भावः प्रसिद्ध्यति सर्वोऽपि उभयसंयुक्तः प्रकृत्या पुरुषेण च यस्तु यस्यादिरन्तश्च स वै मध्यं च तस्य सन् विकारो व्यवहारार्थः यथा तैजस पार्थिवाः यदुपादाय पूर्वस्तु भावो विकुरुते परम् आदिरन्तो यदा यस्य तत्सत्यमभिधीयते प्रकृतिर्ह्यस्योपादानम् आधारः पुरुषः परः सतो विव्यञ्जकः कालः ब्रह्म तत्त्रितयन्त्वहं सर्गः प्रवर्तते तावत् पौर्वापर्येण नित्यशः महान् गुणविसर्गार्थः स्थित्यन्तो यावदीक्षणं विराण्मया साध्यमानः लोककल्पविकल्पकः पञ्चत्वाय विशेषाय कल्पते भुवनैः सह अन्ये प्रलीयते मर्त्यम् अन्नं धानासु लीयते धाना भूमौ प्रलीयन्ते भूमिर्गन्धे प्रलीयते अप्सु प्रलीयते गन्धः आपश्च स्वगुणे रसे लीयते ज्योतिषि रसः ज्योतिरूपे प्रलीयते रूपं वायौ स च स्पर्शे लीयते सोऽपि चाम्बरे अम्बरं शब्दतन्मात्रः इन्द्रियाणि स्वयोनिषु योनिर्वैकारिके सौम्य लीयते मनसीश्वरे शब्दो भूतादिमप्येति भूतादिर्महति प्रभुः सलीयते महान् स्वेषु गुणेषु गुणवत्तमः ते व्यक्ते सम्प्रलीयन्ते तत्काले लीयते अव्यये कालो मायामये जीवे जीव आत्मनि मय्यजे आत्मा केवलमात्मस्थः विकल्पापाय लक्षणः एवमन्वीक्षमाणस्य कथं वैकल्पिको भ्रमः मनसो हृदि तिष्ठेत व्योम्नीवार्कोदये तमः एष साङ्ख्यविधिः प्रोक्तः संशयग्रन्थिभेदनः प्रतिलोमानुलोमाभ्यां परावर दृशामया इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायाम् एकादशस्कन्धे प्रकृतिपुरुषविवेचनं नाम चतुर्विंशोऽध्यायः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। नारायण। ओम श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, श्री भागवत शरणं मम, श्री सद्गुरु शरणं मम, श्री सूत शरणं मम, श्री शुकदेव शरणं मम, श्री व्यास शरणं मम, श्री कुमार शरणं मम, श्री नारद शरणं मम, श्री ब्रह्मा शरणं मम, श्री विष्णु शरणं मम, श्री परब्रह्म शरणं मम, श्री कृष्ण शरणं मम, शरणं मम, शरणं मम। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्ति अयं रसः अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चत कर्हिचित् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः अथ चतुर्विंशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच All Bhagavatacharyas, let us wholeheartedly do namaskar. All avatars, all bhaktas. Also the Guru Parampara who took the responsibility of evolving we the jivas. In this 24th chapter of 11th Skandha, Sankhya Sadhana is given. In that Prakriti Purusha Viveka is shown. In that how the Bhagavad Adhina Maya Prakriti with Bhagavad Sankalpa only goes on getting modified, divided, and forms the entire cosmos, Srishti, which we are seeing. At no point of the time, the Prakriti is independent of Paramatma in doing whatever it is doing or whatever is happening in that. Without Purusha, Prakriti can't do anything within itself to appear as this world. And at every moment of Prakriti, getting modified and coming down to appear as this Sthula Jagat, before which Sukshma, before which Karana, the Purusha in whose presence all this is happening, is unaffected and untouched, independent. This is what happens in the Samashti. Then after this happening in the Samashti, when the Vyashti creation happens, individual, at that time, that Samashti Prakriti, when it gets converted into the Vyashti Prakritis, Vyashti Upadhis, into that again, in that, when Paramatma presence makes that Vyashti get enlivened, when at that time he is called as Jiva, that Jiva, with the freedom given to him, who misuses that freedom, he gets entangled in that upadhis, which are manifestations of the same Prakriti. And the two words which we were seeing in the earlier Skarga also, chapter also, with which this Jiva gets entangled in the Prakriti and gets so much bound limited that he never enjoys his true infinite being. The true words are the Mama as well as the Aham. And always in the Mama, there is also the Na Mama, mine and not mine, and I am. These are the ones which are binding the Jiva in me to these Upadhis. When I, the Jiva, through all study, knowledge, practice, get out of Aham and Mama with this Upadhi, though in the Upadhi, the functional individuality continues to remain to cater to the need of the totality or to serve the Lord or to become instrument in the Lord's hand. Yet the binding Jiva would not be there in us. He is called Jivan Mukta. And this is you and I have to understand thoroughly and slowly have to get out of our mama and aham bhava with the prakriti. Then the jiva is no more prakriti but the jiva. He is one with the purusha. He is the mukta now. And then how this prakriti comes into manifest as the samashti vesti jagat. That is what is taught in this chapter for our understanding and later on for our conscious merging of this entire expressed prakriti in the sthula sukshma into the karana. For doing this laya prakriya, the entire process of creation in which the prakriti gets modified and appears as we are seeing now. All that is explained in this chapter. And along with the prakriti coming to appear in this world, the opposite of that also is said in the second half of the chapter, where how when the jiva becoming sadhaka, moksharthi, knows that mukti happens when the prakriti is merged back into Mula Prakriti, that person consciously he can in his own bosom merge entire Stula into Sukshma into Karana and he can remain as untouched by all that liberated. This is called the Mukti through the Prakriti Viveka, Prakriti Purusha Viveka as envisaged by the Sankhya Paddhati. एंड 10-15 बार इसको सुनो और धीरे आंख बंद कर कर महसूस करना शुरू करो देन ऑल व्हाट इज इट appears to be so pakka, so clear. And this all when you are taking Sushti as real, Bandhanam as real, and wanting to get liberated. But once you know the truth, the picture will change. The change in the picture is there was never real Srishti happened, nor the real Bandhana happened. They were all taken as real. Therefore, sadhana was also being required to be taken really. Then we did really sadhana. Then the really bandhana went away, mukti came. It all will be revealed at that time. This is what at the level of the Mandukya Upanishad. This again and again, with the matured subtle intellect, when one keeps on listening, slowly the depth of the understanding starts happening. एक बार नहीं होता. ईश्वर गुरु कृपा से the Sankhya Paddhati is understood in which the Prakriti Purusha who are entangled together, there this Jiva in whom or he himself is the amalgamation of Prakriti and Purusha, he detaches himself from the Prakriti's clutches totally and gets identified himself as I am the uninfluenced, untouched Purusha. In Vedanta, even that Prakriti Maya also is dissolved. What remains is Ekameva Dvayam Brahma. So at the time of manifestation, Maya, Shakti, Prakriti, both are same, is the power of Lord, which creates the world under his sankalpa. At the stage of ultimate realization, there is no power separate from me for doing anything on me in the form of creation. Like I and my speech. According to Sankhya, they are different. In Vedanta, there is no speech independent of me other than me. I alone, pure conscious being, is there. This is what, in short, Sankhya. And then in that, lot of questions and answers, lot of pramana, vichara. Oh, it is done so much. Sankhya is very close to Vedanta. After Sankhya, only when merge of Prakriti also in Purusha, what is called as Vedanta. Keep in mind philosophies, how the great yogis, great jnanis have contemplated and given this to us, and all of them have authority again in the Vedas only. Every darshana gives some type of growth, evolution. There is no wrong or rightness or fighting. But the ultimate mukti giver is said to be the Vedanta because mukti is felt when there is no thing other than me to bind me is there. So simple logic, no? I will be mukta when there is no thing other than me to bind. Therefore, nothing other than me is there is Advaita philosophy only. Therefore, in that Advaita only the mukti is possible. That is how the great Guru Shastras, Bhagavan, in all the Upanishads and all final philosophies, they have explained to us. Okay, because it is toward the end of Krishna Leela and Mukti Skandam and Bhagavatam, Bhagavan is trying to give us all the essence of all the Shastras, like Veda Vyasa. He, at that time, whatever the Vedas revealed to all the rishis, munis, he with his Divya Shakti has remembered all of them, brought all of them, and put in the form of these four Vedas. Remember, Vedas are there from the beginning of creation, revealed to different rishis, again being passed on vocally. As time passed, they became so big in bulk that there was chance of they being forgotten, becoming lupta. That's what Bhagavan Vyasa's avatara, to remember as much as he could. Anantoy Veda, infinite. Whatever he could remember, remembered. Then he put in the form of these Vedas. Four. So, in the Vedas, the samvada between Guru Rishi Munis of past, very old gurus there, Guru and Shishya. Not there at the contemporary time of Vyasa or not even after Vyasa. So when we say Vyasa gave to Vaishampayana, Vaishampayana gave to Yajnavalkya, what is the meaning of it? It is after codification of all Veda, then for the further preservation, the Vyasa gave to his Sishyas. Neither Vyasa nor his Sishyas are creators of this Veda Jnana. It is eternally going on. In the same way, Bhagavan Krishna, in this 11th skandha, he is bringing all aspects of mukti and trying to put to Uddhavaji, and it has been passed on up to us in the form of this Grantha Bhagavat. And without feeling any laziness as well as ego, increasing our own capacities, abilities, when we try to understand, of course, under the guidance of our teacher, then the subtleties, secrets in this will start revealing to us. Having this much introduction and summary, yesterday we already saw the 4 5 shlokas in which Bhagavan first promised, I am giving you Sankhya. That is also Samyak Prakarshena Vakshyami. We exhaustively explained yesterday. Then Purvair Vinishchit. It is not only given by me to you and not that I only am the creator of it. Purvaihi Vinishchit. All the Rishi Munis. What is the meaning of Vinishchitam by Purva Rishis? All of them got it from their gurus. They all have practiced it too. And all of them got experience of mukti through this Purusha Prakriti Viveka. And who is the Purva Purva who has given in the beginning? Here at that time there is no giver in the beginning. It is the one Lord only expressing as the Jnana Amsha in the form of the Vedas. Bhagavan also is not Veda Karta or Veda Data. Then Bhagavan is Veda Swarupa. Himself appeared as Veda. to give mukti to the jivas as the guiding jnanam. These are things when we listen again and again, some clarity will come. So, purvai sunishchitam te aham sampravakshyami. I am giving you that which is again and again being established through practice and experience by our own ancient great grand rishis and saints. First line. Second is what? Yad Vijnaya. Why should I know? What is the benefit of it? Yad Vijnaya Puman. Puman means Purusharthi. Moksha Purusharthi. The one who is putting effort, such person, Sadhyaha, very soon, instantaneously, Jahyat, he goes beyond, he rises above. What is that? Vaikalpika Brahmam. The samsara created by the Vikalpa or multitude or manyness, which actually was not there, but only Kalpita because of Brahma. Now, this is where you have to pause a lot to very deeply understand thing. Much will not say, only one sentence. Whatever the multiplicities we are seeing, in whatever the way they are there, Stula or Sukshma, they just like the dream. In the dream also, Stula Sukshma, so much of multiplicity is seen. The Vikalpa, multiplicity, Vikalpa means multiplicity, manyness. All of that appear to be so real. Remember that example of dream again and again. There you see Panchabhautika Srushti. You see the Akasha, the Megha, even the heavy rains, and the Megha mein, all the lightning, sound, thunder. Such a Srushti we see in the dream. Then Bhumi, and on the Bhumi again, the Pahad you see, the Nadir, Samudra we see, the trees we see. And in the tree again we see, in the dream I am saying, the trunks, the branches, the leaves, flowers, fruits, and on them, variety of birds. Between the trees, lot of jungly animals, even small insects also you can see. Then you can see all vimanas or rails and whatever. You'll see human beings of both male, female, small, big, fat, thin, black, white. There also you can see the poor students, poor people, rich people. See, कितना वैकल्प है ड्रीम में. Everything is there. Karma, karma phala, and there also loka gamanam. All, all that Vaikalpa we see. But when we wake up, is any one of them are there? Nothing there. So the seen multiplicity city not really there. So that which is not really there, but seen is called a Brahma. Jahyat. So it transcends the Brahma of manyness. So what is the meaning of giving up or rising above? Of the Vaikalpika Brahma of the dream to a waker, only two things. There was actually no such world at all. What was there is I alone. I, in the ignorance of my own self, conceived or appeared or imagined the entire Vaikalpika Jagat. I alone was there, and there is nothing other than me. In the dream, this is not agreeable, not acceptable. In the dream, the dream world of manyness appears to be so solid, tangible, substantial. वहाँ भी एक्सीडेंट्स होते हैं, वहाँ भी गाड़ी चकनाचूर होता है, बट बंदा बच जाता है. Such a dream, sometimes the other way around. गाड़ी is fully intact, but बंदा चकनाचूर हो गया. See that power of Maya which creates such a vikalpa. Remember, without, most important thing what to understand is, without any substantial matter as the cause of all that. Interesting point it is. And the substratum for all this always said as Maya or Parabrahma. Parabrahma cannot be the substratum because he has never gone into any modification. He has always remained as himself. We call him as Adhisthana to transcend the manyness to reach him. That is a prakriyamaya step. But actually, you see, he being unchangeable, unmodifiable, he cannot become Adhisthana. Then what is the substratum Adhisthana other than this Prakriti Maya? Are yaar, is Maya independent? नहीं. तो if it itself is not independent, उसका खुद का ही ठिकाना नहीं है. How can it become substratum for the Brahma? देखो. That is what is the power. Without a support substratum being there, still it happens. Like the dream world. कौन से मैटर से आपने बनाया? देखो, कभी सोचा ड्रीम का लड्डू, ड्रीम का शादी में जो डेकोरेशन था, वो किससे बनाया वो सब? क्या मटेरियल था वहाँ? डिड यू टेक एनीथिंग फ्रॉम वेकिंग वर्ल्ड? But everything appeared so real. No material, no matter. That's what was said in the Mandukya, very exhaustive in the Alata Shanti. What is that? When the Alata is moved, then the Bhranti happened of the Rujuvakra Abhasa. In the Abhasas, there's no matter. At the very deepest level, this is what is found. I am the self unchanged. The entire world has no substratum. Then it is just appearance. But it is Adbhutam. Mahadadbhutam. Like nowadays with the graphics, what an Adbhutams they are imagining. You know, what an Adbhutam. Everything is wondrous. When they show that big movies in that, अरे बाप साहब क्या है वो बिजली in that software, in that hardware, whatever, that's all. जो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता उसका कितना दिखा रहे हो लोग. Today's technology can be a big best example for us to understand the power of this delusion Brahma Maya, which can appear all these things, though in the ultimate search, deep search, the seat of meditation, none of them are there. Okay. Then he gave us आसी ज्ञानम अतो हि अर्थः एकमेव अविकल्पितम आदौ अयुगे. And यदा विवेक निपुणाः आदौ कृतयुगे. Adau, in the beginning, Ayuge, before the creation happened. Asit was there. Ekameva, one without second. Avikalpitam arthaha. One without second. Artha was there. What is most importantly we have to catch here is, what was that one thing without vikalpata? What was one artha which was there? Is jnanam. Pure consciousness. Asit therefore existed. Therefore, consciousness existed or existence was there which was conscious of itself naturally or kuch tha hi nahi. These words 5-6 times when we contemplate, then some sara essence we start understanding. If you understand, that means your intellect is sharp enough, pure enough. नहीं आया समझ में, मतलब थोड़ा दिमाग को थोड़ा और शार्प ठंडा करना है. आसीत् ज्ञानम अतः हर्तः एकमेव अविकल्पितम अयुगे आदौ. Then कृतयुगे यदा विवेक निपुणः. In the first creation that happened, the created beings were very clear of this, about they being a pure jnana sarupa, and whatever the little bit creation by then started, they know all that is vikalpa or brahma. Therefore, they were never bound. This is what second sloka. Then tat, the jnana sarupa, Brahma or Paramatma, again repeating, it is Kevalam at that time, it is Nirvikalpitam at that time, it is Bruhat at that time, Vangmana Agocharam at that time, and Satyam. That only Maya Phala Rupena itself, listen carefully. Rupena means it itself took the form of Maya and Phala. That Maya is called as Prakriti. Phala is the Jiva or Purusha. Here the Maya is Samashti Prakriti. The Phala is called Ishvara. It was said in earlier texts which we studied was Paramatma alone became aware of his Maya Shakti. When he was not aware of his Maya Shakti, he is pure Brahma, nascent. When he became aware of his Maya Shakti, immediately became Ishvara. With Maya, the Parabrahma is Ishvara. Ishvara minus Maya is Parabrahma. Minus means when the Maya is become one with him, he is Parabrahma. These are the words when we remember repeatedly. Later on during the meditation, during the higher meditations of dissolving subtle, crossing subtle, etc., these are the ones which help us. So, Dvidha Samabhavatu. One is Maya Rupena, second is Phala Rupena. That Maya Shakti has become Drushya, the Phala is called, the Ishvara is become Drashta. And while talking these topics, what helps us is, if we can really can become subtle to contemplate that even at this moment, the Drishya I am seeing, I know I am the Drashta of the Drushya. And there is a third entity which is inexplicable, not catchable, but is becoming aware of these two, Drushya and Drashta. अगर यहीं से इस बात को भी याद रखोगे, then the understanding leading to meditation becomes easy. So not only in the beginning of creation, Eka Nirvikalpa Brahat Brahma appeared as Drashta Drashya, it is happening from then till now. Yeah. Then definition changes. And that condition where the same pure conscious self has appeared as Dvidha, Maya and Phalarupa or Drishya and Drashtarupa, that is called creation. Remember, now here when we come to this level of Bhagavatam, we have to start having the subtle understandings. Creation is never happened. The one Brahat Brahma appeared as Drashta and Drishya. That appearance is creation. One waking mind appearing as the dreamer and the dream world. Again, dream world became many again. First, Aham Idam. Aham is Drashta. Idam is Drush. Then Idam becomes millionfold. That's called creation. And all that is again appearance only. In the world we talk as creation, creation. That's how people are happy to understand. But actually, creation is impossible, which we studied in the Mandukya so exhaustively. Simple logic Mandukya gave us to dissolve the theory of creation. What did they say? Creation can happen from something or from nothing. From nothing, how can creation happen? And from something, why creation should happen? Because something already there, no? This is how the two Vadins have rejected each other. We studied Nyaya Vaisheshika and Sankhya. Sankhya said, from something creation came. Nyaya Vaisheshika asked, "Arre bhai, already hai, how can you call it creation?" Then they said, then from nothing creation came. Then so Sankhya said, "Arre Baba, nothing se creation kaise aayega?" So, by these two people opposing each other, what they achieved is what is the theory of the Vedantin. Therefore, what? From something or from nothing, creation never happened. Therefore, creation never happened. Then, first accept it. Thereafter, yes, the Vedanta says the entire creation has appeared. Appeared because of the ignorance of pure self. When the knowledge of the self dawns, entire creation goes away. See, in the creation which is actually Brahma, and we take it as real, in that creation which we take as real, we try to gain something, protect from losing something, we try to fight with somebody, react with something. क्या हंगामा हम कर रहे हैं बताओ? Like in the dream, we are struggling, competing with each other, fighting. हाँ उड़ जाओ तो all problem goes away. Making में आ जाओ तो. Now you can understand what is the solution given by the Vedanta, and that solution alone is the solution and final solution. Other than the Vedantic solution of knowing the truth, in the imaginary world which is taken as truth, there cannot be permanent solution. One after other keeps on coming. And this is not theory, it is our own experience. When did our problems end? One problem ended, but all problems never ended. Even if all problems end, the problem and fear of death तो remaining, no? बिना मरे तो कोई रहेगा नहीं ना देह के दृष्टि से. That's why there's no solution in the world other than the Vedanta. Vedanta reveals the truth to us. When the truth is discovered, all the untrue is found to be untrue. That is not only solution for problems, it is a dissolution of all further problems. Like when the waking has happened to us from dream, not only the solution of all dream problems are the present happens, but the dissolution happens in the sense no new dream, no dream again, no dream problem. Waker ko. Understood this much. Now comes tayohi ekatarahi arthaha. Among these two, one self only appeared as these two. These two prakriti is called prakriti. Savayatmika, that prakriti has got two experiences of karanatva and karyatva. At the mula level, it is the karana rupa. As it slowly takes the karya shape, then it appears as the multiplicity of the world. This is factually how everything happened or appearing. Then tayoho ekatarohi artaha prakritihi. Among these two, drashya, drashta, drashya is called as prakriti. It is ubhayatmika. One by one step we are studying. Though we studied yesterday, repetition makes the knowledge little stronger because Bhagavan said, if one knows this, the Vaikalpika Brahma goes, along with it samsara goes and mukti comes. Therefore, little effort put to understand deeply. Ekah artah prakriti ubhayatmika. Clear? One is called prakriti, which is two expressions, twofold as cause and effect. Anyataraha Jnanam Bhavaha. The other one is called as Jnanam. He is called as Purushaha. In him, two things are not there as Karya Karana. He is one without second. This is how two things are named as Purushaha, Jnanam tu Anyata Bhava tu Purushaha, that is Jnanaha Saha Abhidiyate. Pure Jnana Swarupa it is. Okay. This Jnanam only called as the Drashta. No, these are all happening in Samishti, as I told in the beginning. There is no Jivas born yet in this. Pure Jnanam. And I tell you, sit and sit of meditation, when you discover the self, after discovering self, you open the eyes and see world. What happens is this only. What happens? I become aware of the world without becoming owner or disowner of the world. Means I become aware of the world. Thoda dhyan se suno. I am that consciousness which is aware of the world, which is out of me only God projected. There is no individual ego-ness which takes the creation's part of it as its, other part as not its. That jiva is not there. That's why the word important here is jnanam. That is why the state of realization is called as knowledge without a knower. And extend that knowledge without the triputi of knower, known, and knowing. Mandukya, we studied that only, no? Grahya grahaka bhavena. How many times that topic came? Even now, the consciousness in me is becoming aware of everything, including the knower and owner and dishonor of this world called as Jiva, who is by choice. He can remain as so and get bound. He can dissolve his individuality and become one with the Jnapti Jnana Swarupa. So at that level of awareness, I am just awareness. There is no ego in me to say some panchakoshas are mine, other are not mine, so I have to protect them, I have to give food to them, I have to manage. ये सारा जीव के लिए होता है. जीव भ्रांति है. जीव का बाई चॉइस जीव के रूप में रह सकते हैं. And we're all choosing that choice. And when you take the other choice of dissolving through sadhana, when we do, then what remains is a liberated conscious me, not a bound owner of this world, the jiva, who says something is mama, something is na mama. वो वाला नहीं रहेगा. But again, I tell you to desire to reach to that state, we must first of all know that that state is so great, and other states of samsara where we are, it is binding. I don't want it. This type of vairagya should come. नहीं तो मन होगा ही नहीं वहाँ जाने को. Like you don't have vairagya for your TV and all, you will never leave that TV and you will never come to class. Sticking to a TV is in your own hands. Coming to class also in your own hands. You are the one. When you have Mahatma Jnana for TV and useless is the class, this Bhava, you will be there. Going through all Sukha Dukkha of the TV. But when you have the Mahatma Jnana of the class, then the problem that arises due to the TV, then you get Vairagya from that, you leave it and come here. In the same way, the Lord also is going on giving us thousands of experiences and waiting. Waiting for what? For you and I to use those experiences, analyze them, and get that required vairagya. Nirvedam, as it said in Upanishad. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana nirvedam ayat. That's why only the one who has got nirveda, that the pure sadhana, Vedanta, jnana becomes applicable, meaningful, useful. And yet we study, because if not today, at least someday when the Paripurna Vairagya comes, this already gained knowledge will help us in meditating and knowing the self. So Katakayaham Tayohi Ekatarahartaha Prakriti sa Ubhayatmika. Then Anyatamaha Bhavaha Jnanam. That's called as Purusha. Purusha Saha Abhidhiyate. Now, that Prakriti, in its process of appearing as this world of multiplicity, the first things happen are these. Prakrutehe gunaha abhavan tamo rajaha sattvam iti. The Prakriti only contains in itself these three gunas of sattva, rajas, tamas. When these three gunas are in samya avastha, at that level, pure Prakriti is there, awayed by Purusha, from which the world is not created yet. Now, by Purusha's sankalpa, what happens is the kshobha happens in the three gunas of Prakriti, which were earlier in the samya avastha. The moment the samya avastha of the Prakriti is disturbed by the sankalpa of the Lord, that disturbed samya avastha Prakriti becomes the cause for the manifestation of the world. That is what? Maya prakshobhyamanayaha purusha anumatena cha. Okay? I, the pure consciousness, my presence is the one which makes the prakshobhana happen. Purushanumatena, yesterday we said, ki the would-be jivas, Purusha here are the jivas. Their anumati means whatever the vasanas they have, according to that, whatever the upadhis and the world around they deserve. To manifest all that, these trigunatmakata of the Prakriti happens. Prakriti is one. But when Prakshobhana is done by the Lord and also of the would-be jivas, that takes shape of the three gunas as if the main matter. From that, the entire world required for these jivas is there. All this is a prakriya and process. Okay, and you can add two, three things to that in the sense. परमात्मा ने सृष्टि किया कहो, माया ने सृष्टि किया कहो, जीवों के समष्टि संस्कारों ने सृष्टि किया कहो, ये सब सेकेंडरी होते हैं. प्रोसेस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. दिस इज हाउ द प्रोसेस ऑफ क्रिएशन हैपेंड. मया पंक्षोभ्यमानायाः पुरुष अनुमतेन च प्रकृतेः गुणाः अभवन् तमो रजः सत्त्वम्. In every example, we can see it. When the house wanted to be constructed, immediately for the construction of house, whatever the material are required, they are procured. You know, the cement, the concrete, the iron, these are all called three gunas. Then the combination of all these cement, iron at different places is the entire building. Okay. The wood we get for making the doors, windows, thresholds. We get all the different electrical equipments, the plumbing items. सब इकट्ठा होते. In this, all that put together is said to be trigunas for the future creation. Anywhere, when you want to start a factory or when you want to cook the food at home, all the material just first is brought. That you can understand as trigunas. Then the combination of all those comes out to be various srishti of the various dishes. Interesting. Any vehicle has to be created. All the parts are brought and assembled. Computer is created. All the parts are brought, assembled. So you have seen the parts, then created computer. This is one version. No. You have visualized the computer, then you imagined the parts, and then created parts, then assembled them, then a computer came. Is it not? Think थोड़ा सा homework आपके लिए. Now what happened after that when the three gunas expressed? First, slowly the creation starts happening. Tebhyaha, from these three gunas, which are not substantially fully got separated, but expressed. त्रिगुणात्मिका प्रकृति कहते हैं उसको. मूला प्रकृति is undefinable. Okay. Then from undefinable prakriti, when the three gunas pop up as if without getting separated from it, that's called a trigunatmika prakriti. Those trigunatmika prakriti, what happens there? Tebhyah samabhavat sutram mahan sutrena samyutaha tato vikarvato jataha ahankaraha yaha vimohanaha. So, from those three things, it is in technical words called as Samashti Kriya Shakti. And the Purusha, what he has got is called the Jnana Shakti. So, Paramatma, his own Shakti, undifferentiated, gets differentiated into two, the Jnana and Kriya. The Jnana Shakti wala ho gaya Ishvara, Kriya Shakti wala ho gaya Maya. दे आर नेवर सेपरेट अगेन. मूल में एक ही परमात्मा के है वो. दिस प्रकृति तेभ्य जो त्रिगुणात्मिका प्रकृति से अभवत सूत्रम. द सूत्रात्मा एक्सप्रेस्ड. ओके. देन महान सूत्रेण संयुतः. सूत्र में समष्टि क्रिया शक्ति. Then Mahan Sutrena Samhita is the Paramatma only, a conscious entity who now needs to operate on that Mahan Tattva. He is called as the Hiranyagarbha. He has got manifested. So Tebhyaha Samavat Sutram and also Mahan, who is the Sutrena Samhita. Sutram is matter. Sutrena Samhita Mahan is the one who had to operate on the matter, called as the conscious entity. Therefore, that sutram you can talk it as Mahat Tattva. Then the Mahan Sutra is called as Hiranyagarbha. Who will use that Mahat Tattva for further grossification in the form of creation to be created. Then what happened? Tataha vikurvataha jataha ankaraha. From this sutra only, a vilakshana thing has come out called as ahamkara. जड़ा अहंकार टोटल की बात कह रहे हैं. दिस जड़ा अहंकार बी अटेंटिव. दिस इज वेरी हाउ टू कैच पॉइंट टू दिस जड़ा अहंकार. When the association of Sutratma happens, then only he has become the conscious Samashti Aham. Otherwise, it's only Prakriti. Matter grossified little bit. So, like in me, Aham Vritti is there. It is only a matter, but into that, when Paramatma's Chaitanyam comes, then only this Aham became conscious. The conscious Aham again, with his Jnana Shakti, knows the things, with his Kriya Shakti, does the things. And in this Aham, both Jnana and Kriya Shaktis are deeply hidden. Jnana Shakti, remember, expresses through the faculties inside. Kriya Shakti expresses outside, again through Karmendra Prana Ityadi, but in the outer worldly objects. एक्चुअली क्रिया शक्ति से ही ये सारे जिनके ऊपर क्रियाएं होते हैं वो उत्पन्न भी होते हैं और उनमें क्रिया भी होता है. ज्ञान शक्ति में ही से ही ऑल द ज्ञानेन्द्रियास अंतकरण कम and then the jnana happens. And these are all little sublime. It will slowly get revealed as the time passes in our life. when we are interested in sorting out all these subtle sublime riddles. उस समय धीरे धीरे क्लियर होता रहता है. फिर दिस मच इफ यू अंडरस्टैंड इनफ कि फ्रॉम दिस त्रिगुणात्मिका प्रकृति the sutra or the mahat tattva came sutram. Then, then, uh, then this sutramana mahan samyutaha, the knower or identifier with that, the sutram, the Hiranyagarbha also manifested. And that again, mahat tattva became little more modified. It became samashti ahankara. So there are few things to understand here, not many, two, one or two. Ki the samashti aham, from that only Vyashti Ahams came. Therefore, the Samashti Aham later on by the Vyashti Aham, listen careful, is the cause of all chaos. Therefore, Vimohana word is used. Ahankara Yaha Vimohana. At my level, my Ahankara is doing Vimohana by which I am not able to know my real self. I am considering myself to be that Ahankara. In the Samashti Ahankara at any time can withdraw from this Aham Kartrutva and identify with the Shuddha Brahma. But for the sake of creation, he owns that Samashti Ahankara in which Jnana and Kriya Shaktis are there. With that, entire world is created. And how that happens, further slokas, we will see it tomorrow. Sarvam Krishna Arpanam. Okay. थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है आज, I don't know. Thank you. Just be patient in all these classes, morning, evening, and understand the grace of the God, struggle of the gurus who are trying to teach us, and have patient listening. Whatever little is understood today, be contented with that. Whatever is not understood, relax and leave to God. He will make us understand tomorrow, day after. In this way, wherever the intricacies are there, subtleties are there. अदर थिंग्स विच एवर आर अंडरस्टूड, उसमें जो साधना करना है करने का है तो करो, जो अंदर के भावना में बदलाव लाने ला लो. सो वंडरफुल. दिस इज हाउ इट इज. Let us see Ramayana today for some time.